Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our workshop today. Can you please do something for me? Can you please just fill the seats in front of you so that when we still expect much more people, so that when you come, we can just take the seats at the back. The seats in the front have not been reserved for any, so please come forward. We're kicking off now.
So welcome everyone here in the physical space and welcome everyone there on the virtual space. Hope you got a comfortable view and a comfortable sound. Can everybody hear me? Everybody in the back can hear me properly? Not too loud, not too hard. Okay.
Okay, so we're ready to roll. Are you guys ready? Do you know why you're here? Here for the social media workshop. Can I just quickly do a random sampling? Who is presently using social? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to keep saying social media every time. So I'm just going to say social, and I'm assuming that you already know what I'm talking about. So it's not going to be social media. It's going to be social. So who is already using social either for business or for your enterprise, for your organization, non-profit or profit? Can you please raise your hands? If you haven't started using social yet, can you just wave your hands? Okay, okay, some. Okay. Um, I think we're ready to roll. Thank you. We're all here at different levels of using social, and I am certain that at the end of this workshop, you've gotten tools that you can use to scale your work on social. So you're welcome to Social Media Workshop 2016.
Okay. Welcome to Technology 2016.
Okay, so we're going to quickly do something. Do you have your smartphones here? It's working now. Do you have your smartphones here? Okay, so this is the hashtag for today. Hashtag Social Media Workshop KL 2016. So can you please quickly do something? It's only going to take like 30 seconds. Can you, if you're on Twitter, I'd like you to send out a tweet. Possibly I'm here at Social Media Workshop 2016. Take a picture, take a selfie, make a post either on Twitter, on Facebook. Can we do that in the next 15 seconds? Starting from now. So either a post on Facebook. We are here on social, right? So it's very important that we use that. Okay, so I'm not going to wait for us to finish that, so we're just going to go right into the next slide. Okay, a quick introduction about the facilitators today. I think the person off screen looks like me somehow. Okay, this is me. My name is Jacob Damola Johnson. I'm here in Malaysia on invitation by, the Malaysian government, which is for the VIP fellowship program. The VIP fellowship program is a program that has been together to bring in international professionals from around the world, to come give back their skills and expertise, to the development of the social sector space here. And that is why I'm here, and that is why my co-facilitator is also here in Malaysia. So this I'm a communications for development professional, and my specializations are in impact storytelling, content development, social media strategy, and communications management. If you'd like to get in touch with me, that's my Twitter handle and that's my email. And I'd like my co-facilitator Shawa to introduce himself also.
Yeah, so welcome everyone. My name is Shawa. I'm also VIP fellow, which means that together with Damola, we are working on different projects. But since we are both digital marketers, we decided to team up for this workshop today and give us a portion of our knowledge slides for you. Trying relevant things and maybe not go too technical. A few mindsets that you use concepts and for practices.
Okay, thank you. So now the buzzwords that will be flying around today, you're going to be hearing a lot about social, listening, engagement, media. So these are the buzzwords that we'll be concentrating on today. So this is what I'm going to be running through with you today. We're going to be looking at the 5 Ws of social, the 5 Ws of social, move to the 4 Cs of social. I'm sure so many of us are aware of the 4 Ps of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. But on social, we have the 4 Cs of social. We're going to be looking at that. We're going to look a little bit about content development. And this is a very interesting part, which is the psychology of sharing. When we get into it, you're going to understand it better. We're going to look into content scheduling and tools. I'm sure a lot of us who own our enterprises or our organizations, some of us also double as the social media manager for our enterprises. Who is in that situation? You're the one running your business, you're the one running your social media accounts. Can you please wave your hands? So we have such people like that. So we're going to give you some tools on how to manage your time well and schedule your content. And I'm just going to run through a very simple social media strategy with you that you can implement to scale your work. So, ready? Are we ready? Okay, so let's go. I'd like you to watch something. Okay, so how was the video that you watched? Did you get some? Okay, what stood out for you as a person in the short video that you watched now? Can I just get a response from 2 people? Rupert?
Grandparents are on Twitter, so it's good reason not to go on Twitter.
Okay, can I get one more person? Probably from this side. Do you want to say something, sir? Do you want to say something? This is a social media workshop. Okay.
The branding of the Oreos, how they did it, and how they capitalized on it.
And did you guys also see the part in which it says that more people own smartphones than a toothbrush? So do you think it's true? And there's also another part in which it says that you better watch what people are saying about your brand because people are actually talking. So we're going to quickly go into the next slide, which is the 5 W's of social. Now, this is basically the 5 W's of social, which is what, the why, the where, the when, and the who. Now, depending on wherever you are within the social media ecosystem, once you're able to answer these 5 questions, then it makes your approach to social more targeted and much more structured. By the time we're going to look into it one after the other, and you're going to understand much better. So just this is just a quick understanding of what social is. So social media is a collection of online communication channels dedicated to. Now, I purposely highlighted some buzzwords there, which is community-based input, interaction, content sharing, as well as collaboration. So any platform that gives you the opportunity to be able to do all that is basically a social media platform. So now these are the 4 C's of being on social. Number 1 is for community, for conversations, for connections, and for content. Now I would like to look at number 4, which is content. A lot of conversations happen online. A lot of conversations happen on social, and social thrives through the provision of content. The posts, the images, the text, the videos, the audio, social thrives on it. So wherever you are within the social media space, whether you're using it personally for yourself, you're using it for your organization, you need to understand that content is one of the key things that you need to pay attention to when addressing social. If I'm too fast for you, please just let me know. I'm trying to slow down as much as I can. So these are the 4 C's. So I'd like us to go to the next. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, this is like the map of the world, right? So I'm trying to. This is, like I said, this is like the map of the world. So this is like, for example, the social media ecosystem. So how do you know where exactly you fit within the social media ecosystem? Now, because we have all the platforms available, because we have all the social media platforms, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on every single one of them. It doesn't work that way. It is not necessary. You need to be where your audience is. So we're going to look into where do you fit in within the social media ecosystem. Now, this isn't everything, but this is like the most popular ones that is being used, and I'm sure that quite a lot of us are using some of these platforms. So this is LinkedIn. That's the new Instagram. Someone said the new Instagram logo is ugly. I'm not sure about that. What do you guys think? 50 people. I think it's cool. No? Well, that's my opinion. So that's Instagram, that's Facebook. Who uses Snapchat here? How for personally or for your business? Just for fun. Okay. Um, who uses YouTube here? Well, you have a channel. So, okay, Rupert basically he produces videos. So if you're here, you're into the non-profit sector or the for-profit, and you need someone to make amazing videos for you, I think that's the man to talk to outside this program. So, I assume you have a YouTube page, which basically you use to promote your stuff online. Okay, so who uses Pinterest here? Okay, what do you use Pinterest for? Okay, can we have another mic, sir? Thank you. No, no.
For creative ideas, inspirations, to develop new ideas.
Can you please, sorry, I didn't get that. which is when exactly should I be on social? Has anyone ever asked his or herself, that question? Okay, I spend so much time, so when exactly should I be on social? Um, and I think the answer is this: as much as often. You need to be on social as much as often. Now, I'm not really looking at you being on social for yourself personally. I'm looking at you using social media, either for your enterprise, either for your business. So you need to be on it as much as often. How many people have maybe you've heard of this fantastic enterprise or this fantastic organization, and you check out their Facebook page. This is July. This is June, right? And the last post was in like January or February, like 4 months ago. I'm trying not to look at someone. It doesn't. I'm sure you are aware that before people even get to your website, before people get to see you, before people get to hear from you, what is the first point of contact? It's through social, either through your Facebook or through your LinkedIn or through your Instagram. So you need consistency on those platforms. You need to maintain a presence as much as you're paying attention to your website. Your presence on social has to be constant, has to be fresh, has to be lively, and there needs to be content on it regularly. So I said as much as often, and the world of social runs 24 hours. Social doesn't sleep. There's no resumption time. There's no closing hour. That is why, for a social media manager, I really don't think you can effectively run social on a 9 to 5 schedule. It just doesn't work. Because what happens if conversations are taking place online relating to your brand at 6 p.m.? Are you going to say, no, I've closed for the day, I'm not going to attend to this, I'm going to attend to this tomorrow? It doesn't work that way. So to be someone who is in charge of the social media platform of an organization, you are the mouthpiece of that organization. And people expect, I know this is strange, but I think people expect you to just be online 24 hours. That is not possible. I'm handling some social media accounts for some enterprises, and there's some times in which 2 a.m. I wake up and first thing I do is I check my iPad or my gadgets to see if any conversations have happened. So social really isn't a 9 to 5 thing. It's something that goes on regularly, but you need to know when exactly you should be there. So I said social engaging on social is time consuming, and I don't want to go through all this. I'm just going to end with this. So, in terms of maintaining a presence on social, now these are the two things you can do. You can either post content organically. Posting organically means you being there to physically post content, or you can schedule them. Schedule means just using some specific tools to schedule your messages either over the next 3 days, over the next 1 week. But we need to understand that we shouldn't run into the trap of overscheduling, in which once people get to your platform, they can already tell if it's just an automated platform. There is no human touch to your platform. So in as much as you schedule content, you should also be physically available, to post content organically. So that is talking about when to be on social. So we're going to look into the who. Who should I engage with on social? Now, this is just a basic definition of engagement. It says engagement is not just a single interaction with your audience, but it is more of an open line of communication that takes place over time. So engagement is not a once-off thing. Engagement takes place over time, and I think a lot of us we need to be realistic with our expectations with social. It's not a magic wand that when you get into it, boom, it's going to change things around over time and immediately. It's not going to happen. It takes place over time. You build connections over time. You build relationships over time. You build trust on social over time, and that is what engagement does. Now, who do you engage with? You could engage with your friends, your families, your colleagues, your customers, your audience, and your influencers. Now, I want to give you some tips on engagement. These are basically some tips on how you can improve your engagement online, depending on whatever platform you're using. Either you're using Facebook or Twitter. These are some tips that would help. Number one, I said hold Q&A sessions and also join or host Twitter chats. We said we use Twitter, right? How many people have interacted with Twitter chats, which is like a question and answer session? How many people have been part of it? Just one. Who else has participated with chats happening on Twitter? Not many people. Okay, now this is what happens, and I'm going to use myself as an example. Relating to whatever sector that you're involved with, I'm into the social development space. And what I do is I ensure, I'm using Twitter as an example, I ensure that the people that I follow on my Twitter are relevant to my industry. Imagine I'm into social development and all my connections are into engineering. Their conversations do not match my interests. If I'm going to be talking about something and they're going to be talking about something else. So you need to understand, you need to curate your connections online to ensure that you have key people within the space that you're operating in as your contact. So for example, on Twitter, I have quite a lot of my contacts or my connections are within the social development space. And whenever there are Twitter chats, happening online, I ensure that I'm part of it. Now, what am I trying to do with social? In as much as you're trying to use social media for your organization, what you're also trying to do is you're also using it to build your professional persona. That means you're making yourself a go-to person when it comes to getting information within your space. So recently, Ashoka is quite a well-known social development organization based in the US. They were having a Twitter chat, and what did I do? I got involved with the Twitter chat, and they have over 500,000 followers on Twitter. So what they did was for everyone who was responding during that Twitter chat, they were retweeting their tweets. So that means that my space and my community online expanded beyond the connections that I had. So that means that if I was putting out content, maybe in the morning, and I have over 1,000 followers on Twitter, and maybe 1,000 people are seeing it, because they were retweeting it, that means possibly 500,000 were able to see it. Okay, let's say maybe not 500,000 were online at that time. Let's say 10% were online. So let's say, okay, 50,000. You understand? And I noticed that when that happens, I grow followers during those periods. Why? Because a lot of people are getting to see my posts and my content. They're beginning to see me as someone who is knowledgeable in that field. And that's one of the ways in which you build followership on social platforms. You need to be engaged. No one is just going to follow you if you have nothing to give or nothing to offer. So one of the ways in which you can increase engagement is be part of such chats and also institute such chats. For example, maybe you can have Twitter conversations, you can have like an interview with someone, and before that time, you publicize it online. We're going to be talking with so and so and so. We're going to be using this hashtag for this conversation. You get people to join in, and that is one of the ways in which you build engagement online. And you can also conduct polls and surveys. We have Simply Cookies here, which is basically you make cookies, right? One of the ways in which you could use polls and surveys is, for example, you have a new maybe flavor of cookies. Rather than pushing it down people and assuming and hoping they want it, could you perhaps hold a poll or a survey? Okay, hey guys, we have so and so and so flavors A, B, C. What do you think? What works? Because a lot of times, and I think I'm going to get into it now. A lot of times, we get into social with what I call the peacock approach. Who knows the peacock? Who has seen a peacock before? The picture of a peacock. The peacock is an animal which, once it spreads its feathers, it takes over everywhere. So we go into social with the peacock approach. It's all about us. We are the center of attraction. Focus on me, not on anything else. But on social, that is not what works. The attention is not always on you. You need to engage because the people that you're engaging with on social are human beings. So we need to get rid of the peacock approach and begin to look into engagement online. So for Simply Cookies, for example, you can engage, like I said, with your audience with putting out a poll or a survey. We have so and so. Even in terms of your packaging, you could have different types of, you know, options, and you throw it out to the public. When the people are involved in decision making, sort of in a way regarding your brand, then they begin to see themselves more as stakeholders, and that is how you begin to build loyal followership online. I'm just going to look at one more. Okay, we've looked at post consistently, so let's go to the next one. So we're going to look at content. What exactly should I post online? Now, these are the things that you could post online. You could post images, you could post text, you could either post video and audio. Who uses video content on their platform, whatever it is? You use video? Okay, can I just quickly, what do you use video for exactly? The mic is coming.
We use videos to showcase how we make our products. We use videos to showcase how to consume our products. We use videos to show past events that we hold, so people can like join in and see what's happening.
On what platform?
Facebook and Instagram.
What has the response been so far?
Lots of views.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly views, but we haven't really gotten like engagements in the real commenting.
Okay. Okay. Who else uses video, audio for their platforms? Just one person. Okay. Simply Cookies also. So I'm going to move to the next one. Okay, this is just something like an aside, which I said I was going to quickly look into. Who has heard of infographics? I'm sure we've heard of infographics, right? Infographics is also a very good way of putting content online. For example, your organization, maybe at the end of the quarter, you want to put out your stats, your figures. That is, if it is relevant. I'm doing a random sampling now. This might not really apply to everybody. But if, for example, the organization has to do with maybe giving out information, we were looking at the video the other time. It says the attention span of a goldfish is even higher than that of the human person. So nobody's going to sit down and read a 10-page report that has been polished with all the fine grammar, with all the fine, no one has time to read all that. So instead of posting all the 10-page documents which no one is going to read, why not go the infographic way? Basically infographics, you're going to creatively use visuals, you're going to use figures, you're going to use pictures, you're going to use diagrams, and in one page, in one simple infographic, you can really communicate your impact. My boss from Discover Muay Thai is here, Imran. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Okay, I'm going to put him on the hot spot now. Okay, after the VIP program, what you could also do in terms of communicating your impact, either to your sponsors or to your partners or to whoever it is to go the infographic way. Everything that has happened in the past 4 months can be summarized in just one page. How many boys were there, how many collaborations, how many partnerships and all that. And in just one page, in just one simple infographic, either on Twitter, on Facebook, or on Instagram, people can understand what you've been up to. I hope I'm not going too technical. So this is just an example. This is, for example, the overall social media usage. If this were to be in a report, definitely it should have taken pages upon pages upon pages upon pages. But through this, all that has been taken away. It's fun, it's exciting, it's interesting, and it's engaging. So that's one of the content in which you can put online. Okay, so another content that you can put online is pictures. Now I'm just going to give you two very simple points on why you should put pictures online. It has been proven that articles with images get 94% more total views than the ones without. So what you should try and do is in terms of content, putting out content on social, ensure that you try and incorporate visuals as much as you can. as much as we can. It's very, very necessary. And I was thinking about this morning. In terms of putting up pictures online, you need to be very, very selective about the pictures you put online. If the picture is blurry, if the picture is not clear, if the picture is of low quality, then I don't think it really should be online, because whatever is put online is going to be used, is associated with your brand, and you wouldn't want something of less quality to be associated with your brand. So pay attention to pictures, in terms of putting out content. The middle one says 60% of consumers are more likely to consider or contact a business when an image shows up in their search results. And the only way a picture is going to show up in your search results is if someone comes to Google, for example, and maybe puts in simply cookies or VIP fellowship or story frontier. If you've been putting up pictures as part of your content online over time, it's going to pop up. But if you haven't been doing that, then that means nothing is going to show up. It's just going to be text and text and text, and no one really has time to go through all that. So the importance of pictures. Now, this is like the example of a lady who went on a holiday. Can we see what's on the screen? It's not really too clear, but it's like a city. It's a nice view. Imagine if this lady was trying to explain to her family what she was seeing, and she was writing it in words. I'm sure she would have written pages upon pages upon pages upon pages. But with pictures, you don't need to talk too much. Pictures, the picture is worth 1,000 words. Once the picture is there and a little caption, it really speaks for itself. Now, I took an example of the social enterprise that I'm working with, Discover Wi-Fi. Even without saying too much about this picture, I'm sure you're already reading your own conclusions into what you think is happening here. Okay, I haven't really explained what is happening. I think I just want to hear from two people what you think is happening. Can I hear from you, please? What do you think is happening here?
I guess that I guess that he won the competition.
You said what?
I guess he won the competition.
You won a competition.
And he wants to.
Who do you think the lady is?
His mother.
Someone close to him, right?
Yeah, it's grateful.
So this is like if you're going to use words to explain what is happening here, you're going to say they're happy, joy, grateful, fun,
Thankful for his
thankful. Okay. Thank you so much. Can I have one more person? Can I hear from you, please? Yeah. So what do you think is happening here?
I think he's showing appreciation to his mom, but also it shows that he enjoys the sport.
Mm-hmm.
By,
Okay, it's even obvious. My time. I didn't. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So basically, what is happening here is this guy has gone through an academy for the past 4 months, and he was previously someone who was, let's say, on the other side of the law, and he has gone through this program, and he's happy, he's excited. This is actually his grandmother. So his grandmother was there on the day of the graduation, and they were all happy, they were all excited. This is just the power of pictures. And when I put up this picture online on the page that I'm managing for Discover Wi-Fi, I discovered I didn't say anything. I just put up the picture and just some few text. I discovered that picture had much more engagement than several other content that we had put up. Why? Because it had a human touch, it had a human feel to it. So this is one of the things that pictures could do for your brand. Now we're going to go into the psychology of sharing. I'm going to wrap up my session soon so that we can go on break and have a second session. But I think if this is something that you're really, really going to benefit from. Now, the New York Times, about 2-3 years ago, they did a study on why people share things online. Now, I don't mean sharing things as someone who is putting up content. I'm talking about sharing things as someone who is consuming content. Now, this is what I mean. Maybe you get on Facebook, you see an engaging post, and you click like, you share, or you make a comment. Now, the New York Times wanted to understand what goes on in the minds of people that makes them actually share things online. And it was a very detailed study. And I think as people who maybe handle social media, either for your organization or for your enterprise or personally, once you understand the psychology of sharing, once you understand the reasons why people share online, then it would help you structure your content to fit accordingly, right? If you know that, okay, so and so and so content would stand the chance of being shared, then that would help me to structure my content well. So let's look into the study. Okay, so the study brought out 5 reasons why people share online. And this is number one. They said 94% of respondents said they carefully consider the information they share. They carefully consider how the information they share will be valuable to others. So the first reason is to bring valuable and entertaining content to others. So if I, as a social media manager, I understand that the number one psychology, the number one reason why people would share things online is number one, if it is valuable and if it is entertaining. So I now would sit down and look at the content that I bring out. Does it fit within, do you understand, being valuable? Does it fit between it being engaging or entertaining? So that means if I'm able to fit my content to align with this, to be valuable and to be entertaining, then that means it has a likelihood of it being shared online, because that is, according to the study, that is one of the reasons why people would share things online. So if, for example, you've been putting up posts and content and you discover that, I'm sure this has happened to some of us a lot of times. You put up that content or that post that you think is fantastic, and you're there, you're watching 20 minutes after, no like, no share. 30 minutes after, no like, no share. 1 hour later, nothing is happening. Has it ever happened to anyone? Okay, you're trying to be professional about it. It has happened to me. Even with me coming to talk to you, that's happened to me. I've had to, a lot of times, pull down content because there was no engagement and put it up later. I'm going to tell you why I did that. It's going to be in somewhere in the, in the slide. But we've talked about that. So number two, 68% share content to give people a better sense of who they are and what they care about. A lot of times, especially on Twitter, through my tweets or through the things I reshare, you can have a picture into my person. You can know what my values are. You can know what I stand for. You can know what I represent. So the number two reason why people will share it online is if it aligns to their values, if it aligns to what they believe in. So possibly what you put up really didn't align with what someone else believed in. So they're not going to share it. There's no hard feelings about it. But this is one of the reasons why people will share, to define ourselves online. So the number three reason why people will share things, 73% said it helps them connect with others who also share their interests. So that means if I'm within the social development space, okay. If I'm within the social development space, definitely I'm going to share content within that space. I'm going to share content that relate with me. So basically, it also says that to grow and to nourish our relationship. So number four, it says for self-fulfillment, 69% said it allowed them to feel more involved in the world. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. So the last one says to get the word out about causes or brands. 84% said it enables them to support the causes or issues that they care about. Sorry, what's your name? Rina, okay, Rina, she's the co-founder of a social enterprise, right? And you're focusing on environment issues. Okay, for example, I'm into social development, but environment is not the space I operate in or I function in. I'm more into youth development. So that means if I'm your contact online and you're pushing out content on environment, I necessarily might not share it because it doesn't really align to me. It's not what I'm into, even though I'm within the social development space. And there's no hard feelings about it. And you also might not really be into you might not be into youth development. And I'm putting out content and you don't reshare. because it doesn't align with your value as a person. So if we understand these five core reasons why people share online, then we can begin to understand why our content gets the level of engagement it gets the number of likes it gets the number of the shares that it gets, or gets zero interaction, which some of us get sometimes. If you have any question at any time, I'd like you to just stop me. So we're going to look at factors that influence sharing. So now, maybe you might want to take a picture of this. In terms of putting up your content online, these are the factors that could help you increase the level of engagement that you get online. So number one, appeal to your customers' motivation to connect with each other and not just to your brand. Like I said, a lot of us take the peacock approach in which it's all about us, it's all about us, it's all about us. Begin to see how you can provide a platform for your audience to engage with each other. Do you understand? Rather than all the focus being on you as an individual or as an organization, you can start to kickstart conversations within your contacts, within your audience, on how they can interact amongst each other. And this is one of the factors that can influence engagement, not just sharing, but engagement on your platform. So number two, keep it simple. I have a friend in South Africa. Whenever I scroll through his timeline on Facebook, I don't bother reading because I can one article, one post, I can be there for 15 minutes. I'm very serious about it. He would write and this is Facebook. Facebook, I'm sure if I needed to read the news, I would just go and buy the newspaper. But he would write and write and write and write and write and write and write. So even if he has points to make, even if it does make sense, it's just too much. Just too much. I'm not going to spend time to read. Research already says that the human rate of attention is even less than that of a goldfish, which is like 7 seconds. So I'm not going to waste my time reading something for 15 minutes when I could have done something else. So if you've been writing an epistle, before, try and keep it simple, try and keep it short. Okay, how many of us you make use of a call to action in your post or in your content, or you just put up content and you leave it big? The thing is, you need to, online, you need to prompt people to take an action, or they're not going to take any action. So if, for example, you want them to make a donation, don't assume that they know they should make a donation. You understand? If you want them to take an action, be specific. Donate, not just donate now. Do you know that? Okay, let's look at two words. Donate. Okay, I'm going to say another word. Donate now. What feelers are you getting from the two? The first one, you can feel, okay, whenever I like, which can be never. But the now, to eat. Do you understand? So if you want, so this is another factor that can increase sharing and engagement online. I'm going to go to the next slide. Now, I think I have just three more and I'm going to wrap up. I was speaking with Lina, right? Rina, and she said, okay, I handle my social enterprise and I really don't have time to balance it well. You have to run it out the clients. The money is necessary. The money is important, and you also need to keep the social media space very. My co-leader Shaba is going to be doing, but I just want to touch into scheduling a bit. Should I talk about scheduling, or should I just leave it to Shaba to talk about?
The latter. You can talk about it. Actually, I think there are two types of scheduling. Scheduling, like the first, when you schedule your actual appearance on social media, and the second is when you schedule your own time and energy and effort.
Okay, you talk about the time, and I'll just talk about the content. Okay, like I said, the social enterprise that you went to check their platform, and the last engagement you saw was in February. Who has ever visited those accounts? You went there with so much expectations, with so much excitement, and you got there, and the last post was like 6 months ago, and you felt so ashamed for the organization, not for yourself. So this is the best way to go about it. Like I said, you can post content online two ways. You can either schedule or you can either post organically. Post organically means you are there to physically impute the content. But this is what scheduling does. Scheduling builds credibility for your enterprise. Because honestly, I'm not going to take an organization serious if there's no consistency to their online, social platform. And if the last post was God knows when, I'm not going to take them seriously, even if they're doing so much work. And the usual excuse is, you're doing so much, you're too busy to focus on that. I think you don't see social as a priority yet. If you see it as a priority, then you're going to dedicate someone specifically to handle that. It's that important. Since Shaba is going to talk about that, I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Okay, let's move to the next one. So I think you should take a picture of this also. Now, these are free scheduling tools that you can use to schedule your content online. These are free, so these are free and they're very basic. A lot of them are dedicated to special platforms, like TweetDeck is for Twitter. So what you can do is you get your maybe you get home tonight and you want to schedule content over the next 3 days. What you're going to do is when you get to the interface, you input your message, you input the time you want it to get to go out, and you just continue with your business. So what it means is while you're doing other stuff, the automation is working for you. So while you're not necessarily being there, there's a constant presence online for your brand of the organization. So that means if someone like me, who is really fussy about that, checks, I'll see that there's consistency to it while you were really, really not there. Now, this is a very simple example also. How many of us are aware that Facebook has a scheduling tool that you can make use of? How many are aware? Quite a few of us are aware, but we all use Facebook, right? Facebook is very, very easy. Once you have your page, you can go there and you can either choose to post it now or you can either choose to post later. So there are tools that you can use to help your time well, to get messages out as they should. And Shaba will be talking more about that during this time. But these are tools that you can look at, and I'd like you to explore them. They are very, very basic, so you don't need extra training to get to use them. They're very simple. So get on them and begin to use them for yourself. Okay, so I said this is my last slide. I'm going to be looking at a very, very simple social media strategy that you can use to build up your engagement online. So number one, okay, do you want to take a picture of this? Because this is the last slide. So that social media manager, or I want to use social myself. Okay. So number one, this is really, really going to be practical. Rupert, you have a presence online. Who are you trying to reach? Who are you trying to reach?
I think it's mainly so my family's not alive back home.
Okay,
But
let's take it from the business side. Using social for business. Who exactly are you trying to reach?
Well, I'm an independent filmmaker and photographer. And it's quite, I guess, there's a lot of filmmakers out there, so I quite like to share my content with other filmmakers.
So filmmakers want?
It's more like internal kind of thing, because we talk about equipment and stuff like that.
Filmmakers, 2,
And I guess perhaps potential customers might
potential
see it.
customers, potential customers, 3.
Yeah.
So those are the 2 that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me hear from Imran. Who are the people that you think you're trying to reach on social? Now, using Dragon Wi-Fi now, not Discover Wi-Fi. Yeah, Dragon Wi-Fi.
Perhaps martial arts enthusiasts,
1.
so they are customers as well,
Mhm.
customers.
Mhm.
Also corporate organizations too. Also other sports
Fitness and enthusiasts.
and also other multi-athletes as well.
Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do is, I'm really trying to clarify who you're trying to reach out to online, because a lot of us approach social without being clear of who we are trying to reach. The truth is, you cannot reach out to everybody. The truth is, you are not even called to reach out to everybody. The truth is, martial arts might not appeal to everybody, photography might not appeal to everybody, but martial arts appeal to a particular segment and demographic online. Photography appeals to some certain people, environment appeals to some certain people. So if you want to come up with a very simple social media strategy for yourself, for your enterprise or for your organization, you need to define who am I trying to reach? Who exactly am I trying to reach? Maureen, who are you trying to reach with your pictures? Photographers. Okay. Who else are you trying? Just photographers. I've been getting across to your content, and I'm not a photographer. I enjoy your content. So photographers and other people in general. Maureen is an amazing photographer. If you need someone to handle pictures for your organization, I'd like you to talk to her after this meeting. So number 1, we've defined who we're trying to reach out to, right? So number 2, why? So Rupert, 2, why? You want to reach photographers, so why do you want to reach them? Yeah. Because we're trying to build a simple strategy, right? These are the questions when you go back home, you need to sit down and answer. Number 1, who am I trying to reach? You're trying to reach people within the environment space. So why do you want to reach them? To get them aware, maybe to get them to take an action. No, I'm not done yet. To get them to be aware and to get them to take an action. Okay, so Rupert, why are you trying to reach the people you mentioned that you want to reach?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not trying to reach them. I just like putting my work up online. It's kind of nice to get it out there. Kind of say it's done, it's finished. I mean, if I can reach a few people at the end of that, it's great. I mean, but I don't care that much. I actually kind of hate it.
You've already answered the question. You said you like putting out your content. So the why could be the satisfaction you're getting from other people enjoying your work.
Huh?
The why could be the satisfaction you're getting from other people viewing your work.
But that's the peacock, right?
That's the peacock.
No?
We leave the peacock aside for now.
It's like I'm inspired by other people.
Mhm.
You know, when I see a good photograph, I like to tell them I like it. And if I see a good video, I like to say, oh, that's cool. I like this or that.
Mhm.
So I guess like people maybe they can get a conversation going. They can say, oh, I like this video, the way you shot this or this. We can help each other. You know?
Mhm.
Maybe that's why I'm doing it.
Okay. So thank you so much. The first question is why. So the number 2 is, but number 1 is who, then number 2 is why. What is the end goal for trying to reach the people that you're trying to reach? Now, for Imran, who is a martial arts and a fitness training expert, so that means you're trying to reach them, perhaps for them to come and register at the gym, for them to maybe have you, in the organization, maybe to train their staff. So once you define who you're trying to reach and why, it begins to get clearer. So that means that you can begin to structure your approach online, and it's very specific and targeted, rather than all over the place doing a bunch of things which isn't really working. So number 3, the 3-day rule. Now this is very simple. The 3-day rule basically means, what am I going to put out today, tomorrow, and the next? How many of us have sat down trying to post something and we are just blank? You have no clue what you're going to post. Has it happened to anyone? Okay, I think I'm going to raise up my hand. You're just there, you have the Twitter account, you have the Facebook account, you have the Instagram account, and you're just there wondering, so what, I think I've said everything. What am I going to say? Now, that is happening because there wasn't a plan in place. Now, the 3-day rule is a very, very simple way to start. You get home, you sit down, what am I going to post? Of course, if you're asking yourself the question today, that means it's not post today anymore. So maybe you would ask yourself, okay, maybe tonight, what am I going to post tomorrow? And the 2 other days. Now, when you have the idea of that, then it helps you structure what you're going to talk about. So if you sit down and you say the 3-day approach, what am I going to put out? 1, 2, 3. Okay, on Monday I'm going to talk about A. On Tuesday I'm going to talk about B. On Wednesday I'm going to talk about C. Do I have what I want to talk about? Do I have the content I want to push out on Monday? When you begin to ask yourself those questions, it makes you ready. Do you understand? It makes you ready and it makes engagement on social much more constant and much more engaging. So the 3-day rule is very, very important. Now, the next one is your content. Now, a lot of times, I'm out of time, I need to wrap up now. But a lot of times we assume that we have to be the ones producing the content every time. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. You don't necessarily have to be the one producing every single content. A lot of times I get content from other places, but please, whenever you get content from other places, ensure you attribute back to the source. Don't make it look like we're the one who wrote everything and it could spell trouble later on. But I repost content and I reshare content from other writers, but I ensure that I credit them for their stories. So if you're into environments, there's a lot of content online as it relates to environments. Google them, that's part of the content. You don't have to be the one producing everything. Produce the ones you can produce and get content from other places. Then the last one, be intentional and let there be a human touch to your engagement. Everything shouldn't be automated. Everything shouldn't be scheduled. There should be a human touch. I think I'm going to wrap up here. I don't want to take too much time, so I'm just going to. This is quite interesting, but I think what I'm going to do is, if anyone is interested in how the Maslow hierarchy of needs works in terms of social engagement, we can talk about that during the break, but I'm not going to talk about that now. I'm just going to go to the end of this slide, which is here. I've spoken for quite a while. Thank you so much for being an engaging audience. Please give yourself a round of applause. So I'm just going to take 2 questions, and we're going to go on a short break for 10 minutes, and Shaba is going to come and wrap up this session. Does anyone have a question? Mel, one. Can I have no, yeah. Mm-hmm. Of paying, because a lot of times when you have a budget for social, and your client is telling you to justify the reasons why they should pay, right? For example, if you have a page on Facebook and you have 1,000 followers with 1,000 fans, and according to the Facebook algorithm, when you put out your content on Facebook and you have 1,000 likes, how many people do you think see your content? Just a rough estimate. The entire 1,000, 800, 500, 300, 200, 150. 150? No, I'm asking. So, whichever number you think is appropriate, just let me know. I'm going to stop. You have a page. I'm trying to answer your question now. You have a page on Facebook. It has 1,000 likes. You put out a response. You put out a post for a client. How many people within that 1,000 do you think actually end up seeing your message? The entire one. If you think it's the entire 1,000, please wave your hands. Okay, 800. Please wave your hands. You think it's the entire 1,000? Okay, 1,800.
Depends on their previous engagement. If they have been engaging your page, they will see it. No, they will not see it.
500? You think 500? 400? 300? 200? 150? 100? Zero. Okay, a lot of us are neither here nor there. Okay, according to the Facebook, there's a whole bunch of systems in place, but the algorithm, not every single person that has liked your page end up seeing whichever message you put out. So I was reading it recently. I think if you have 1,000 likes on your page, the people that really actually see your post at the end of the day is between 120 and 150. Even though you have 1,000 people like your page. So that might be one of the reasons in which you put out posts and maybe no one likes it. Maybe you just get maybe like 2 or 3 likes, or maybe 5 shares at the end of the day. Because according to the algorithm, it has, it's just a very small percentage of your, of your following that end up seeing it. So one of the advantages of sponsoring posts on Facebook, for example, is that you can begin to target your message according to certain demographic. Like we said, who are we trying to reach out to? If you're trying to reach out to young people between the ages of 18 and 14, sorry, between the ages of 18 and 21, sponsored posts give you the advantages of being able to to target that segment. Rather than put up your message just like that, which at the end of the day, only a very, very small percentage of people get to see it at the end of the day. So one of the reasons which you can, one of the points you could give to your clients is that, look, the reason why we need to go and get, the sponsored post you wrote is, number one, it increases the number of people that have access to seeing your message. And number one, you can structure your message to fit within a particular geographical location. For example, I'm in Kuala Lumpur and I'm advertising for this workshop. It makes no sense for someone who is in the UK. So, he's not going to come. But if I were to sponsor that post, I can, within the settings, I can choose, I only want those within Kuala Lumpur to see it. Or I only want those within central area to see it. And I only want people between the ages of 16 and 21 to see it. And what it's doing is I'm targeting the people who I really want to take a specific action, rather than leaving it wide, open, and broad, and I'm not getting too much engagement. So number one, it increases your reach, it makes you target your right segment. That's one of the reasons why you should go to sponsored post routes, and it makes many more people get access to your content. Yeah.
Can I just add something
Yeah.
here? In the second chapter, we are going to cover why is it worth experimenting with social media tricks and techniques. And one of it is pay-per-click advertising. And in advance, like when you decide that, okay, now I'm gonna do some sponsored posts on Facebook, or I'm gonna do some Google AdWords pay-per-click advertising, in advance, you will never know what return on investment is going to be. So you have to run small structured experiment in order to see how worth is it to you, like how beneficial is it to you to advertise on Facebook. Maybe it will be money thrown out of the window. Maybe you will explode the bank with it. You never know where are you on this spectrum. So I think I can tell you a little bit more how to structure such experiments.
The next segment is going to go much more detailed into that. So if you have any question, you can see me during the break. I think, Trisha, we should go on break now. 5 minutes, 10 minutes? 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to go on a short break now, and we'll be back here by 5:30 on the dot. And he's going to take you through the last segment, which is going to be short, precise, and to the point. Thank you very much.
So welcome back everyone to our social media workshop. Damona has presented some core ideas about what to post, when to post, who to post to. What I would like to tell you in my section is with what mindset to handle to manage social media. Probably you're going to hear a few technical terms that you may not be familiar with. So I would like to encourage everyone to use the famous power of the hands. So whenever you don't understand the term, it's not a problem. We can clarify it in 2 sentences. So this is not at all rocket science, but there are some technical terms like PPC, pay-per-click advertising, web analytics. If any of you are not familiar with these terms, we just stop and then cover it. Okay. So as I mentioned, I'm rather focusing here on the psychological side of social media, but not from your follower side, but your own side. So what approach, what attitude you shall take in order to be successful in social media, in order to engage with your audience, in order to achieve your business goals through social media. And why mindsets? If we say that the ultimate goal of social media is to increase the value of your brand, is to increase the success of your business, then we shall admit that there are numerous roads to achieve this goal. Numerous roads and abundant tools and techniques to achieve success. And there are infinite options how to achieve that success on social media. So what you can do about it is to choose the right vehicle and get on the most successful road. There are many mindsets like this, like how to approach social media. I will concentrate on the 3 key important mindsets. So let's say that today, in this limited time, we're going to cover 3 important mindsets. You heard about all of them. So the first important mindset is channel mindset. How many of you are okay? It implies something that there are many channels. And it also implies something that these channels are somehow come together. So we will see how these channels are coming together regarding social media, regarding online advertising, and regarding everything that is included under the umbrella of online marketing. The second mindset that we are going to cover is the experimental mindset. Mal has already asked a question about how to know the return on investment on our social media efforts. Now, this is the section where we are going to talk about this more in details, about how to experiment with different techniques, how to know whether those techniques are beneficial for you and your business, and if not, what to do with them, if yes, how to develop them even further. And the third mindset we're going to cover is the progressive mindset, how you as social media managers, as entrepreneurs dealing with social media, how you personally can schedule your efforts, schedule your time, and stay on track in a successful way with social media. Instead of just let's first cover this first mindset that I've listed here, the multi-channel mindset. Instead of focusing on this word multi-channel, let's see a question that may rise in the head of an entrepreneur or social media manager. So I'm doing my business. I'm active on social media, posting things, updating my audience with this and that. And that's it. There must be more to it, right? Yes, definitely there is more to it. The world of online marketing is vast. Social media is only a part of it. And the place where you put social media in your own online marketing strategy is totally up to you. You may be the type of person who runs his or her business on a day-to-day basis and does some social media, and that's it. But you're probably sitting here because you want to learn more about how to multiply the benefits of your efforts put into social media. And that's where multi-channel mindset comes into the picture. As I mentioned, the world of online marketing is huge, and social media is a very important subdomain of online marketing. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. You are definitely here to climb this iceberg, to get on the top of it, be successful in social media. But you have to know that under the tip, there are many other things that count. Let's see them one by one. First, maybe some of you only has a Facebook page, right? Who manages a Facebook page? Please hand up. Okay. How many of you actually have a website besides the Facebook page? Yeah, pretty numerous. You probably know that the website and your social media are somehow interconnected, right? But how exactly? In your website, you're probably trying to do something which we call CRO, which is conversion rate optimization. That means that whoever visits your website, you're probably trying to make a customer out of that person. You're probably trying to convince that person to buy from you, or to partner up with you, or to contract you. That's what we call conversion. And in order to boost conversions on your website, you will actually need to put effort in social media. How? It's not easy to get people on your website, right? So whenever you have the chance to reach thousands of people on social media, don't miss out of calling them to your website whenever you can. You probably seen many companies who are blogging, like posting regular blog posts on their social media. Yes, it's about entertainment, it's about engagement, it's about thought leadership, but you're definitely going to end up on the website of that page if you're interested in that topic. And when you end up on a website, maybe you will discover more. Maybe you will discover the product that they are selling. Maybe they will look so cool, so awesome through their blog post that you're just purchasing from them simply because you want to support their business, right? So that's where social media and website is interconnected. On social media, you post many things that comes from your website, and you also connect your website to your social media in a way to keep the random visitor attached to you, to keep in touch with you. Just a regular example. You put a Facebook icon on the bottom of your page, the bottom ribbon. Why do you do this? It's because maybe you had a visitor from another source. Maybe you handed out a business card to someone and someone typed in your domain. You actually want that person to stay in touch with you. So that's where website is helping social media to thrive. Let's switch to the next one, the blog and the content thing. Whatever you publish on your website has to end up somewhere, has to go out to the world, right? Social media is helping your blog to stay popular and grow in popularity, but it is going to be the blog and your website that actually provides content for your social media. So they don't exist without each other. If you have a blog and if you have a social media, you have to consider them as something interconnected. Search engines love those brands that are active on social media. Why? Because search engines' main aim is to provide the searcher, the customer of Google, the customer of Yahoo, with the best possible results on a certain topic. If your company is doing a great job on social media and engaging a lot of people to talk about your brand, you're probably gonna end up in a better position in the search result pages than your competitor who doesn't do it. Analytics. By analytics, we mean analyzing the web data that is created by those people who actually visit your website, those people who actually engage with your content on social media. And all this data that is created up here on the top of the iceberg gets down to this spot, analytics. We're going to talk about analytics a little bit more in detail later during this presentation. So let's just skip it for now. Ratings and reviews, they are the hottest things now, really. You have probably seen a Facebook page, and you have probably noticed that there's a place to leave your reviews and a place to give 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, whatever you want to. That's very important for brands. Some brands haven't recognized it yet, but researchers has already proven that this is one of the top influencing factors for your new customers, whether they decide to choose you or your competitor. So ratings and reviews are hot things now, and it is becoming less and less easy to manipulate ratings and manipulate reviews. So their value is increasing more and more. And you can, for example, taking the example of Facebook, you can always encourage your customers if they are successful, if they are satisfied with your services. Don't leave a tip. Don't leave a tip in the little piggy on the storefront net, but give a nice 5-star rating and some review. Yes, that's something like a bit dodgy, right? But you can still do that, like encouraging your customers to give back if they're satisfied. How many of you are operating an email marketing campaign like a newsletter? Hands up if you have an email newsletter. Have you ever encouraged your email followers to actually follow you on social media? Okay, that's very nice. Some companies don't do that. Some companies treat their email marketing campaigns as something separate. What one should usually consider is, okay, I have a new blog. I'm publishing it on social media, and I also wanna notify the world like notify my email subscription list, like my email followers, that the blog post exists. Why would you paste the blog post into that email that you're sending out? You should rather put a link in your email that directs your viewers on your social media page. And through your social media page, they can read more about that new blog article. And if they want, they can click on it. And that click on your Facebook page, for example, will drive engagement, will drive your reach, it will make Facebook feel, like the algorithm of Facebook feel that your post is something that people love. So why would someone not do that? And the last one in this network of online marketing elements is advertisement. There's always an opportunity to advertise on social media. The newest thing is that Instagram is going to come up with pages for businesses, and through these business pages, you will be able to pay Instagram and of course Facebook will own Instagram to show your content to even more people. So if you have not yet considered to put money into your social media efforts, I would suggest you to do it because you can reap a lot of benefit out of it. So the key takeaway here was not this 10 minutes tech introduction to online marketing. The key takeaway here is that social media is embedded in a network of online marketing tools. And once you have the time to discover these tools one by one, you can be sure that you're gonna multiply your social media effort, multiply the success of your social media efforts. So this is the multi-channel mindset which one shall adopt in order to operate their social media in a successful way. Let's see the second mindset, which is the experimental mindset. How am I going to know if I'm doing the right things, right? For example, Mel asked, how can we be sure what is the exact return of our efforts in paid ads? What are we getting for our money, right? Okay, there's one simple answer: you will never know. To sum up this question here, I would say that measurement in social media marketing. Let's say that this is the title of this small topic here. How do we measure what we do on social media? Well, it's pretty simple. Start experimenting. step in the shoes of an experimenting scientist. Like, what do scientists do? They have an assumption. They have an assumption about the world. They have an assumption that a certain physical process works like this, right? So what they do is they dress up in white, go into their lab, and start testing their assumptions. And they are measuring. They are doing some measurements, and then they collect the data, what was born throughout the experiment, and they just simply sit down and analyze the data, and they see whether their assumptions were true or were not true. This is what I would call experimental mindset. How many of you are familiar with this cycle? This is the lean startup cycle. How many of you have heard about the lean startup? Okay, maybe it's not that much popular as I had thought. Anyway, there is an approach to product development which is based on experimenting, and this approach is also known as Agile. How many of you have heard of Agile? Okay, Agile is in connection with software development. So when there's a software developer who is trying to do something new, like building a new software, he can do it in a way that he gathers a lot of money for it, makes the software and see if it sells or not, but that's probably not going to bring too much success for him. And that's the same with your marketing efforts as well. Instead of writing long marketing plans like allocating thousands of bucks to your social media campaign, for example, first start experimenting. If you think that a certain kind of weekly infographic for your main audience is going to work, start testing it, build the first prototype of that infographic, see if your audience liked it through measurement. And once you measure the effect of that infographic campaign, you can learn. And from learning comes the decision whether you keep going with the direction that you initially took, or you change, you iterate, you take another direction, you try something new, you forget about infographics, you switch to video content, for example. So if you keep that in mind, to keep experimenting with things, not just shooting things out in the air and see where it lands, but actually go into the details, how it performs. You actually have the tools to do that. You're not left alone with it. There are many tools out there that you can use for your benefit, analyzing the data that is gathered throughout your social media channels. Before jumping into these tools, let's see how a very simple experiment can be built up. First, if you have an idea in your mind, for example, let's start a blog series about cookie recipes. Let's start educating my audience how to make those cookies that they like to buy in our shop in a simplified and easy to prepare way. This is an assumption. We don't know whether it's going to work. Give yourself time with it. Let's say that you come up with one recipe per week. Give yourself a month of experimenting time. Let that month be about experimenting. We are not aiming to be successful and explode the bank in that very month. We're just experimenting, right? So let's define the time frame to be 1 month. Let's define the desired outcome. The desired outcome can be defined in terms of numbers. How many people do we want to reach through this blog post? How many clicks do we want to collect with this blog post? How many clicks would mean us that we should continue blogging? We should continue pushing the recipes out to the audience. And under what limit would we say that no, my audience doesn't care about it? Let's leave it. Let's forget about it. So define your desired outcome. Measure your results after that 1 month. So run the experiment for the time frame that you defined previously, and see if you could achieve your desired outcome or if you couldn't. If you could achieve your desired outcome, then give yourself a round of applause and go on. Like, continue what you're doing, because you you just chose the right track. If the results are not that good, if they are so-so, or if the results are bad, you should iterate. By iteration, we mean that you should take another direction. You should keep the original idea in mind, let's say in this case recipes, but maybe you should package it in another way, not in a blog post, but maybe a very short tweet. Who knows? Let's try next month to tweet recipes, tweet very short ways to make cookies. Maybe that's impossible. I'm just improvising. So, and once you have these results, once you know whether your audience likes what you're doing, you can define the long-term plan. Now that you have some evidence in your hand, if they like it or not, and reap the benefits in the long run with your campaign that is already built on validated assumptions, right? To get this data, what you need, you can take two ways. The first way is the most difficult one, to become like a data analyst, a data geek. Some people will love it, I promise, but maybe most of you will not like it because it can be a bit overwhelming as an entrepreneur, for example, to learn Google Analytics, to pay for Adobe Analytics, to get familiar with HubSpot Analytics. These are very famous and very good online marketing web analytics tools. I think some of you have already heard about it. Maybe the others are going to hear about it later. They are hot and important, but you should only experiment with these universal web analytics tools if you really have the time to go into more geeky and technological stuff. For those who would like to keep their efforts in this digital thing at a minimal level, rest assured that there are easy solutions for you as well. Every social media platform has so-called platform-specific analytical tools. For example, most of you who are managing a Facebook page have probably seen the Facebook Insights page, which will tell you what your audience is up to, what they like, what they don't like, what is their age and gender composition. But it tells you a lot more than that. So I encourage everyone to next time you're experimenting with something new, try to follow the data that is collected by Facebook Insights, for example. Like if it comes to Twitter, collect the data through Twitter Analytics, and feel free to get your notebook or to get a new Excel sheet and start filling it up with the numbers you receive. It's much easier than to just always follow what the interface, the Facebook or Twitter interface writes for you, displays for you. Good news is that Instagram is going to have this analytical tool soon. Once they roll out these Instagram pages for businesses, they're going to provide you with the analytical tool with which you can measure what your audience likes, what your audience engages with, and what they don't care about. Pinterest already has it, YouTube already has it, and Snapchat doesn't have it yet. For those of you who would like to experiment with Snapchat marketing, I suggest you to Google up Snapchat Analytics, and you will find easy and sometimes free tools to measure your results and measure your audience's behavior on Snapchat. And there are smaller tools as well. How many of you are familiar with Bitly, the URL shortener? Okay, some of you. Most of the people use Bitly or Google's URL shortening service, which is like Goo.gi. I would prefer to choose Bitly always. Anyway, most of the people who use these URL shortening services, they only want to have short URLs. You know, like if you want to post on Twitter, and Twitter used to care about the characters of like now Twitter works in a way that the links that you put on Twitter is not counting into the 140 characters, but it used to work in a way that you had to shorten URLs in order to have a concise Twitter post. But URL shortening is more than that. When you shorten a certain link into a small Bitly URL, you are also given a chance to see how many people actually click on that shortened link. And for example, if you are giving out newsletters and you are not using newsletter software like MailChimp or anything like that, but you just simply send out emails that you want to use as a publishing tool for your audience. And if you use a URL shortener like Bitly, you will actually see how many people click on that link on the email. Just go to bitly.com, go to your account, and you will see how many people are actually caring about the content that you're publishing. So you will get yet another tool to gain feedback from your audience. You see, like very easy example. You have a new event. You have an event page on Facebook. You announce this event to your email followers in an email that you are sending out to the masses, and you know that you have 1,000 subscribers to your email list, and you see that only 16 people actually clicked on the short with the URL. What does that mean to you? There must be something with the targeting of the event, right? There must be something wrong with the messaging that you are running up on your Facebook event page. So the only thing about this is when you're experimenting, these two are very simple tools to actually get feedback how many people are interested in clicking. I would think I will not go into details with UTM code. This is very technical, and as far as I can see on the faces, maybe I'm a bit overloading this workshop with technical stuff. But whoever is more into the techie and geeky stuff, Google this thing up, UTM codes or UTM tracking. This is an awesome tool that can be combined easily with URL shortening, and in this way, you can segment your email subscribers and see which group of your email subscribers click, which group didn't click. So you can make it even further. All right, let's get down to the third mindset that we are going to cover today. I have limited time for social media, but I want to do it right. And I don't want to become became an obsolete player in social media. So I also want to keep up with trends, what's happening in social media. So that's like really your side, what you yourself put into your managing your social media efforts. How can you do that? Well, with the progressive mindset. What does the progressive mindset mean? The progressive mindset is something when you are actually conscious about the fact that social media is one of the tasks that you have. It's something that needs to be done. It's 2016. You should not neglect the people who would actually like to follow your business and your activities online. You should actually get down to social media. But at the very moment you start managing your social media account, your schedule is going to get tight. Like in a few days, you are gonna end up spending hours in front of social media, trying to get used to it, trying to get a feel of it, and trying to make an early success with it. Many people get burned out by this. Seriously. Many people find themselves disappointed with their results in social media compared to the efforts they are putting into social media. That's why if you take up a progressive mindset, you also admit to yourself that I'm going to work with social media for years, right? It's not just a one-time thing. So I really have to be smart on allocating my time and resources on my social media efforts, right? Maybe it sounds a drastic thing, but define how many minutes per day you are willing to spend on social media. Don't let social media overwhelm you. It should be you who controls social media, not the other way around. So at this point, I may sound a bit contradictory to what Damol mentioned during his workshop, but I'm not contradicting him at all. Yeah, social media is a 24/7 thing. You need to be there. You need to be present. But you also need to manage other aspects of your marketing, manage other aspects of your business. So you mustn't define your social media time frame as infinite or undefined. Define and allocate time, and define and allocate the other resources you're willing to spend on social media, like your staff. For example, you have a dedicated marketing person in your team, and you are expecting results on social media from that person. that means that other parts of your marketing efforts are going to be neglected probably. That person is going to be busy with managing social media for you, and maybe the benefits will be less than the efforts you put into social media from the side of your staff, and also money, right? If you have a defined marketing budget, you should not spend all of it on social media ads. That's a very one-sided portfolio, I would say. And you know, like it's an old rule that the more diverse your portfolio is, the better chances for you to be successful. Uh, there's a bunch of tasks connected to social media, right? Posting, commenting, messaging, joining conversation, joining group chats, joining this, joining that. A lot of things that you can do on social media to drive engagement. However, you should always prioritize. You should always know what is important for your business and what is less important, and leave the things that are less important for you to the bottom of the list. Really, sometimes we just don't have enough time to do everything in order to be successful on social media. But we should definitely find time for the most important things. So feel free to list and prioritize. Social media is a rapidly changing thing. Probably you know that there are platforms appearing, platforms disappearing. In the last 10 years, we have seen platforms come and platform go. And platforms also change a lot. Facebook is totally different now than what it used to be 6 years ago, probably 5 years ago. And in order to stay on track, you really don't need much effort. The only thing that you should do as social media managers or entrepreneurs is just follow only one social media news column. I promise you that this one social media news column will keep you updated about the most important stuff, and it will not take more than 10 minutes of your day or 5 minutes of your day to actually stay updated about social media, technological changes and trends. And if you're riding the wave, you're staying on top of the wave, then you're gonna be the one who stays in control. You know, you could always decide whether social media is a one-time thing for you or whether is it going to be an ongoing thing. I would always suggest to consider it as an ongoing task. That would be the point of the progressive mindset. So what you would do is not to shout from time to time, like the Maula mentioned that, okay, we published 5 months ago, now we're going to publish today, and then maybe in December the next one. No, don't just shout. Don't just create buzz and try to create excitement for a short while. Make it into a conversation, like an ongoing conversation. That's going to be even better for you, because you engaging your customers is not just good for your brand and sales. It's also good for you to get to know them. So if you stay in conversation instead of just creating buzz and shouting out, you will definitely reap more benefits from social media. And if you are consistent with your efforts, if you're consistent with your time, money, and staff investment, if you are consistently on track with new trends, your success will be gradual. It will build up gradually, not overnight, but it's going to sustain. It's going to be a progress. So basically, these were the three mindsets I wanted to share with you, and I would like you to take this home, but maybe not put on your shelves, but put on your work desks, because that's something that if you keep in mind, whatever road you take to achieve your goals and biggest objectives through social media, these mindsets will serve you as good tools to rely on. So thank you for your attention, and hope to see you again soon in a similar environment. How much time do we have, by the way?
Okay, I'm aware some of us are fasting and we'll need to break our fast pretty soon. So I think the distance between you eating is us now. We're going to try to make it as short as possible. Okay, we're going to entertain just two questions and we're going to wrap up for this session. So if you have any question during my session or during Shaba's session, do we have any question? Or anything you'd like us to talk about, be relating to your brand, regarding your enterprise? Okay, yes, ma'am. Who is the question directed to? Shaba. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, shown us a few tools to measure the, yeah, measurement tools. Uh, from those tools, right, how can we know those visits or likes are the unique visits and unique likes, and it's not generated by robots?
Actually, you will not be able to know that. But what I
How else can we know that? Can we
so,
get a very precise data?
you will get precise data, but the trick with the bots is that you don't know that it's a bot, and the analytics tool doesn't know that it's a bot. So there are actually companies now who are having a race towards a solution that you can filter out the bots. If you use, for example, Google Analytics, yes, Google is also developing solutions to filter out the bots that is visiting your page. But those people who are developing the bot are also in a competition. So this is an ongoing war between the ones trying to prevent you from having bots on your page and the ones that are actually financially interested in sustaining this bot system. So honestly, I cannot suggest you a solution with it because I myself, as a practicing marketer, are still discovering these tools, but has not found the right solution yet.
Do we have any more question? Okay. Okay, so since there is no more question, I'd like to say a very big thank you on behalf of myself and Shaba,
Thank you very much.
Impact Hub. Trisha, you want to address? Yes.
So I'm Trisha from Impact Hub. I'd like to thank Chaba and Demola for doing this session today. So if you could give them a round of applause. So this is just an example of some of the programs that we run, which is like, some of it is actually exclusive to Hub members. And those of you who would like to find out more about how to become a Hub member, please see my colleague Christina in the back, or you can grab me right in the front. So once again, thank you so much, guys. It's been awesome planning this and doing this, so thank you so much.
Okay, we're basically done for the session, but can you please just do something very quickly? Can we come forward, please, for a group picture, and we're done. Thank you. And if there's anyone who wants to either meet Shaba or myself to talk further about whatever you want to talk about, we can talk after the session. So can we please just come forward and face there for a group photo? Thank you.